Hey everybody, welcome back to PathMonk Presents. PathMonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding PathMonk to your website in seconds, letting the artificial intelligence do all the work, and increase conversions by 50% while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of PathMonk Presents. We're really excited for today's episode. We've got Reshma, the growth marketing manager over at Accacia. How are you doing today, Reshma?
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. How have you been?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. So, we're really looking forward to today's episode and figuring out what you guys are doing from a digital marketing perspective over at Accacia. But before we dive into anything a little bit too deeply, why don't you just give our audience a little bit of background? What is Accacia and, what do you guys do over there?
Sure. So for the audience, to simplify this, I would say Acacia helps people track their carbon emissions in a simplified way. We simplify green construction as a whole. So we realize that real estate contributes to about 40% of global carbon emissions, which is a lot. And it is also one of the industries which is very hard to decarbonize. So once there was someone at the door. Did you catch that? Yeah. So Acacia is a full stack decarbonization platform for real estate, and we simplify green construction.
Awesome. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you guys are doing this. Like, how does the platform actually work? And maybe tell us how you're helping your audience and what sort of solutions you're providing.
Absolutely. So our main audience is real estate, and real estate contributes to about 40% of global emissions, which is a lot. And it is also one of the hardest sectors to decarbonize. So we help them with, like I mentioned, an end-to-end solution where we take care of their data collection, their reporting solutions, and we also equip them with green building materials and energy efficient solutions like solar panels, EV chargers. So what we do is we track all the metrics, like how much energy is being used, how much water is being consumed, what is the waste that is generated when the construction happens, right? So we kind of condense all this information about the real estate portfolio in our platform, and we equip them with the necessary details on how they can act on it.
Interesting. So it sounds like you're both recording the information about how eco-friendly real estate businesses and construction businesses are being when they're putting up new properties, but you're also kind of giving them the tools to kind of improve upon that themselves. Is that right?
Yes. So we have two angles to it. We what we call is embodied carbon and operational carbon. So embodied carbon is for all the properties that you see that are already built years ago,
Mhm.
right? So we help them track the carbon emissions for properties that are constructed already, but we also help them track their current properties which are under operation, right? So what
Mm.
materials are being used and how they can choose much more sustainable materials as alternatives.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. And I want to also make sure that we talk a little bit about what's going on over there from a marketing and growth perspective. So maybe you can talk about like how does your audience typically find out about you? It seems like a very niche market, obviously, right? Like we're talking about like the eco-friendly real estate construction space, so it sounds like a very I don't want to say small audience, but it's definitely not for everyone. So how does your audience typically find you currently?
Great question. So as we all know, real estate and construction is a legacy industry, right? It's been here for a long time, but it's been a very slow to adapt industry in terms of technology because they need a lot of awareness and education, especially because sustainability and the things that we're doing currently are very new in the ecosystem. So some of the things that are helping us currently is we're part of associations like Singapore Green Building Council, we're part of Apria. So these are specific associations in this decarbonization and sustainability space where we have a huge network of real estate developers, ESG professionals. So where we meet them at industry events, there are a lot of networking sessions that happen globally that we are a part of. And our founders are constantly on the front lines, attending panels, webinars, any thought leadership programs that happen. So it helps us put the foot in the door. We have a lot of word of mouth that happens. But apart from this channel, we also actively are present on LinkedIn and other social media platforms to get more eyeballs in the space. And that's how we build our brand awareness.
Oh, okay. So because it's definitely like a legacy industry, right? And it sounds like everyone in the industry probably has connections or knows each other, and there's definitely events where everyone can get together. It sounds like these are some awesome networking opportunities to make sure that you're getting together with the people who could really utilize your tools to the fullest.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think trust is a very big factor when it comes to evaluating a platform like ours, especially because it's a commitment. Because once you sign up, it's very hard for you to see results for the let's say next 1 or 2 years, right?
Mm,
It's a huge commitment. People set net zero targets for the next 10 years if they're going to realize. So it's a slow
mm.
process. So in order for you to build that trust, and it's a huge commitment, so it comes with a lot of social proof as backing. And also, you would naturally trust someone in the same space if they've heard about, let's say, Accacia, and if there's a good trust and relationship that is built, you would naturally resort to the same solution.
I find that really interesting because there's so many products out there that will say something like, results in, 1 week or, 1 month or something like that. And this is definitely not the tool that's going to be providing the initial, you see results immediately, right? So yeah, having that trust and making sure that there's proper expectations and making sure that the clients really understand who you are and what you're going to be delivering in within what sort of time frame. That sounds very interesting. It kind of goes against what a lot of people are doing in other sales areas.
Right, absolutely. I mean, you do see immediate results, let's say, in terms of if you're, like I mentioned, if you're building something new, if you have fresh start, and we'll obviously recommend you sustainable materials from the get-go, where
Mm.
then you'll be able to realize your results of your initiatives, right? But let's say if your property has been releasing carbon emissions for the last 20, 30 years, it's not going to drop to zero overnight. It's a slow process. But we are with you throughout that journey, guiding you with every step that you have to take so that eventually you will get to a point where you will be able to meet your net zero goals or targets.
Really interesting. This is such a new industry for me, so I'm really, really
Mhm.
curious about it. I want to move
Yeah.
on and start talking about your website a little bit because I know the
Yeah.
website is kind of like the core when it comes to bringing in any sort of new traffic. It's kind of like the face of the business. So for anyone that wants to learn about who you guys are and what you do, maybe you can tell us what role does the website play in terms of client acquisition? Because it sounds like there's a lot of, like you said earlier, social proof, networking. People need to know who you are. So it's probably like not necessarily a website straight for conversions, but maybe as like an educational tool. So yeah, maybe just tell me like how does the website play a role in terms of client acquisition?
Great. So you're absolutely right. Website is definitely the first handshake that happens with our prospective clients, right?
Mm,
Although the consumers might be seeing us through a social media post or probably a YouTube video, right? Or probably someone might come through this podcast of ours, and they'd probably research. The first thing they do is check out our website. So I think the basic hygiene of a website is simplicity and specificity, right?
mm.
Like it shouldn't confuse the audience. The message that you're trying to put across should be conveyed in the first 5 seconds of them being on your website, right? And again, I go back to the same point of social proofs. I think that's why every company have their client logos right in front for display because they are like, hey, we do have other people who have trusted us, and so can you. So along with logos come testimonials. It's very important for you to establish good relationship with your clients and get them on your side so that there are other people whom we're trying to solve the same problem and they'll be able to relate to them if they are in the same industry. So to put it in short, simplicity, specificity, have social proof, and convey the message without confusing the audience, and you should be good.
Okay. And that kind of relates to my next question as well. When we're usually talking about like what makes a great converting website, and everyone kind of has their own different opinions about what works, especially like if you're in, let's say, I don't know, like an e-commerce company that's selling shoes versus Accacia, who clearly is talking about high ticket, contracts with construction or real estate businesses, right? So everyone's going to have a different opinion about what makes a great converting website. But what are some kind of tools or tips or methods that you might recommend?
I wouldn't say, I think more than two is the tips would be to guide the user on their journey in your website by having the right call to action, right? If they're on the website, they're definitely trying to solve a real pain point that they have. Assuming a real estate developer is on our website, he's probably trying to figure out how he can set his ESG goals or meet his ESG goals, right? Or reduce his carbon emissions. So if all the pain points of his or hers are stated on their website and with solutions, and you're guiding him or her through the journey of, hey, this is your next step, call to action, and that goes to a landing page which has more details about the problem statement, and then guiding them to a free trial or a demo or a one-on-one call with one of your account executives, right? So taking away the guesswork and guiding them to the journey through the journey seamlessly is one of the best ways to have a high conversion rate on your website.
Yeah, so not just putting information on there, slapping it on there just for the sake of having keywords or for the sake of
Yeah.
having content, like
Yeah.
really building it in a way so that there's some sort of journey or some sort of track and
Yes.
making sure that they're seeing the pain point each along, like, at the beginning, and then they find the solutions and the right information that kind of qualifies that information. And yeah, it sounds like building that journey is probably what leads to a great converting website. And I totally agree as well.
Yeah.
We're moving on to the next section of the conversation, and this is going to be a little bit more focused on Reshma as the marketing professional, as opposed to focused on Accacia. And I want to get things started with a relatively, let's say, playful question. But maybe you can tell us about your day-to-day work. Like, what are some of the activities you're focusing on, and what are the things that take up a lot of your time on a pretty typical day?
Wow, I think in a relatively early age startup, you pretty much do everything, a little bit of everything. But to summarize my role as a marketer, I would say I take care of content marketing, social media marketing. In fact, even website optimization. Our current website is going through a overhaul because we are coming up with new entries, I would say, like we are introducing solar panels and EV chargers, which is going to transform our industry. So, which is currently, you might not find it on our website because it's our new GTM and our website is going to have a complete makeover with these two launches. So currently working on that, and alongside, I'm also helping with demand generation and lead generation. So building the cadences and messaging which our sales team can use in their outreach, basically equipping every team to have the right narrative and messaging so that our audience connect with us.
Got it, got it, got it. And in terms of kind of like the ongoing socials and marketing and lead generation, demand generation, are there any sort of tasks that you find consume the most amount of time for you? Like, is it trialing or testing different messages? Is it waiting for different designs for the website? Whatever it might be, is there anything that kind of takes up too much of your time on a normal day?
Yes, I think many people would relate to it. It's like writing the same message for multiple channels, right?
Mm,
Let's say there's a product, like for example, green cement, right? I want to write a blog on green cement. So the tone and the messaging for a blog would be different as compared to a LinkedIn post, as
mm,
compared to a Medium blog, as compared to a short snippet on the website, right? Or even a cold email or a newsletter. It's the same product, which is marketed in different channels, but the tone, and the narrative, the way you write it, the way you structure it is different. So it takes a lot of time building the same thing again and again, but in different ways.
Yeah.
But
And
I think if that could be streamlined, it would be great.
not just the tone that you have to change, but depending on the, let's say, the platform that you're writing this message, maybe there's like
Yeah,
a certain amount of characters you're supposed to use. Like, let's say you are writing it in a blog post, right? Sometimes people within the digital marketing space will say, like, we recommend no more than, whether it's 600 and 900 words of keyword optimized copy, right? You're saying, okay, I have to stick within that. But if you're on LinkedIn, they say, like, oh, you probably shouldn't exceed something, like 800 characters or 900 characters or something like. And so you're always kind of like trying to meet these certain what is it? These certain guidelines depending on the platform that you're posting something on. But overall, it's just the same idea, right? Yeah, like you said, green concrete or something. So yeah,
yeah.
really, really interesting. I think that's well put. Okay. Next, I know that there's a lot of kind of overwhelming content out there, and we're always trying to get smarter, get better at our jobs, whatever it is we're looking to improve upon. Where do you go to kind of grow and consume content that leads to you performing better on a daily basis?
I think one platform that is helping me right now immensely is Reddit,
Hmm.
because whatever problem statement I have, let's say if it is social media marketing. So there are multiple subreddits that are already built for these problems. So you just
Hmm.
type in social media marketing on Reddit. There is a subreddit with a thread. There are multiple users facing the same problem. They might have either solved the problem already and they have pasted a solution, or they're going through the same problem. So you already have a mini community of problem solvers for you, and that's the best place. And it's not cluttered at all, right? Because you're directly going to the problem statement, you're finding solutions, and you're getting back to your work and resolving it. So apart from Reddit, I think I have a community of growth marketers that I meet every other weekend. We are about 400 people who live nearby. So we there's always a theme. Let's say if it's performance marketing that we want to talk about, we catch up for like 30 to 45 minutes on the weekend. It's very chill. We discuss the problems that they're going through. And there's somebody out there that has already gone through it and solved it, like I mentioned. And then you just, it's a fun chill session. You're also hanging out with people at the same time as solving core issues on a day-to-day basis. So that's how I see
Sounds
it.
really nice. Definitely leveraging your network for sure, it sounds like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also, yeah, Reddit, the first thing that comes to mind is if you're running into a problem, I'm sure someone else has run into that problem themselves, and Reddit's
yeah.
probably the best place to go. So that's really, really well said. Okay. We're moving into the final section of the conversation, and all of the final, let's say, four questions are more thought-provoking and friendly, and it's not necessarily focused on Reshma or on Accacia, but let's get things started with one that's pretty easy. Tell us, what's the last book that you read?
Wow. It's a book that I am rereading. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It became quite popular for all the right reasons. I think one simple message that he puts across is lead with empathy and not the problem.
Mhm.
So I think this applies to your employees, your customers, your relationships. Try to understand the pain point before even reacting to that situation, right? Like try to empathize with them, and you'll already have a solution in hand. So
Mm.
this one statement, I think you can apply it in any situation, and then it just helps you get out of it. So this is the book that I swear by.
Wise words, and probably one I should add to my list. So I
Right?
think I think I will. I think I will. Okay,
Yeah.
next one. If there were no boundaries in technology, I'm saying, let's imagine this is like a sci-fi world and anything is possible, right? What would be one thing that you would want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Wow. That's interesting. I would say that I would like a tool which tells me what my customer is thinking and feeling at this exact same moment, so
Okay.
that I can write my messaging accordingly. Let's say they're in a very happy mood, they just got a promotion, and my messaging could be, let's say, congratulating them or even sending them flowers with a note, right?
Mm.
Or and let's say if my customer is not having a good time, then I probably won't send my email that day and
True.
save my energy. So I think a lot of time is consumed by marketers by always A/B testing and second guessing, is it going to work or not? But if you're having like real time updates on what your customer is doing, where they're at, how they're feeling, what do they need, imagine it would be much easier for all of
Oh
us.
yeah, your open rate, your success rate, all of
That's
those
right.
things would skyrocket. Yeah, because how many times
Exactly.
do you send out an email and it just lands in their inbox at a time that they're just not ready to read something like that, or they're not ready to
Exactly.
actually like engage with something like that. If you knew you were always engaging with them when they're in the right mindset and they're ready to like think about a product like yours, that would be awesome. Yeah, really, really good answer. Okay, next.
Yeah.
If there was one repetitive task that you could automate, what would it be?
I think I already mentioned this, which is like writing the same message for different channels. If that could be automated, let's say I just do it once for probably a blog, and then there is a tool which kind of replicates based on persona characters for like other tools and just gives it to me without me writing it from scratch for all other platforms again and again.
That's a good one. Yeah, that would definitely save a whole bunch of time for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the final question, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your career as a marketer today?
I think on initial days, I think in everyone's career, we do a lot of me instead of you. I think this is the thing that I learned over my career, that even when it's an email or if you putting a message across for your consumer, talk about them a lot more than you talk about yourself. So it reflects in my current messaging as well, where I talk about the pain points that they're going through, what is some of the industry pain points that we can do for them instead of what I am solving, what I am building, what I am pitching. Because once you make it about them, they'll be more open to listening to you rather
Mm,
than you just constantly pitching your solution and what you have built for them. So I think this is something that if I had implemented right from my career, I would have gotten a lot more clients and conversions than I do now.
that's wise. And I think a lot of other marketers will probably relate to that as well. It takes too long to kind of come to that understanding, right? Early on, everyone's
Yeah,
like, here's
yeah.
what we do, here's why it's great for you, here's why you should use it. As opposed to, I think you guys are awesome, and I think this might be able to help you. So, really well said. I just want to say, Reshma, thank you for joining us today. We really loved having you on the show. Your answers were awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on. Before we get going, why don't you give our audience one last, let's say, elevator pitch about Accacia and remind them what it is that you guys do.
Oh, thank you so much. So, for everyone watching, Accacia simplifies green construction. We are a full stack decarbonization solution where we help the real estate reduce their carbon emissions. We measure, track, and help you report them so that you're always ahead and you're prepared to reach your net zero targets. And we also help you with solutions with green building materials like green cement, green steel, and energy efficient solutions like solar panels, EV chargers that is coming out. So you should watch out for that as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the time today, Reshma, and hope you have an awesome day.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Kevin. Take
Of
care.
course.